Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ran and Tone Show. It has been a while.
Like to welcome you to the show.
Thought you was gonna finish.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
I don't sound as good as the thing.
I know. I miss it, but you know, fresh start, fresh beginning. It's just good to be back in the open, back on the mic.
It's good to be releasing because
Yeah.
it's been a lot built up. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a lot you want to get off your shoulders, off your back, however you level to express.
Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to Marley Burgers. Yo, Marley, I've been watching your commercials and everything. And you and Sleep Johnson. Shout out to Sleep too. Y'all been doing your thing. So make sure every time you see Marley Burgers around, you give him a shout out, man. Marley Burgers. Also, let me give a shout out to Gorilla 2K. I'm watching your new page. Your sneaker page is crazy, man. Go to Gorilla 2K, check out his new sneaker page. Mr. Irrelevant is always on point, man. He had something out there the other day that I really like, so make sure y'all check out Mr. Irrelevant too. And last but not least, them old heads, Check out them old heads. Yo, Nick, thank you for putting that together, man. I think that's a classic. I ain't show it to Tone yet, but once I show it to Tone, he gonna like it too.
Yeah, he holds out for a while.
Yeah, it was cartoon generated.
That's cool.
It's the me and the boys and one of their associates. He did for the 2K.
I ain't got involved yet.
That's what I said. Yeah, you definitely would have been our fifth person. So we called the old heads. Make sure you check that out.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to get that out the way, especially with Marley, man. I've been watching Marley. Marley has been working extremely hard, man. I'm very proud of him because I watched him when he first came up from the beginning and when he had absolutely none, and he just started with a charcoal grill, and now he's turning into a 100% eatery. So shout out to you, Marley, man, for climbing on top of your shit, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Very good. And let me give a special shout out too of somebody who we interviewed a while ago. I've been watching her page, and she's been on point doing a lot of things. So shout out to Lady Leo Films. We appreciate you for all the actors you brung, from Big Mel to Very Richmond. You have brung us many actors. And,
Very Richmond.
Yeah, so hopefully we're getting back into what we used to do. I don't know if we're in the, what the hell was that? I don't know if we're in the verge of getting another studio yet, but I know we're working on something. So, a whole new vibe. You know how Ran and Tone do. Every time you fall, you got to get up, do something different. So, it's great. Oh, let me not forget one of our very first guests
Who's that?
who performed at Summer Jam. Fergie, baby. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, Fergie. Man, I watch your road. I watch you travel your road, man. Much wishes to you and your family. I still want to get your mama on the set, man.
Of course.
I still want to get your Mama Joe on the set. For those who don't know, that's his mama manager. I call her Mama Joe. She does a great job with Fergie, baby. So shout out to him. And that Harlem River Drive is crazy, baby. That Harlem River Drive is crazy. So just in case you think the living room's not listening, we never forget where we started. We never forget where we're going. We appreciate y'all allowing us to join the ride. So just wanted to get them shout outs up and out the way before we begin our talks. Did I forget anybody?
Of course you did.
Who I forgot?
It's quite all right. They know they loved.
Well, who I forgot?
It's quite. We will have a whole show just on mentioning who we want to praise today.
Amen.
There's a lot of things
living
going
and
on.
gone.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Amen.
a lot of things going on. We will have a whole show just on that.
Yeah.
We're having an anniversary for my son because he shine.
But boy, Noodles.
Everyone knows Noodles, Funky Man. Everybody know him as Baby James.
That's right.
Peace and love always in your travels.
Shout out to my guy, Baby James. Yes. And it's funny that you say that because you always said that when you go through something, I go through something. So, not to put it in perspective, but a couple of months after that, I lost my nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you always said that what we gonna go through for the rest of our life, we're gonna go through together. So
Well, as you get older, you tend to, and you build an understanding of things in life,
yeah.
and death is a part of life.
So for those who think we've been hiding, I know it took us a long time to get back on the mic. Sometimes you have to wait for the right time. Sometimes it's just not a perfect time. There's a lot of things going on. And life puts you know, when life slows down, it gets into a certain perspective.
It's not even life. It's,
You know,
it's individual life.
individual
it's what
life.
we go
Okay.
through individually. I'm not even going to put a shade or anything on it. I mean, just as a person, even in the environment in which we live,
Amen.
things go on which you have to put a halt sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a halt prevents from just shutting down. Just to pause for a minute prevents from just shutting down and have to start over. We're not starting over, we're just continuing on a better path.
Yeah.
That's all it is, with a bigger understanding and a much more appreciation of life.
Of life, yeah.
Because as we get older, we see life come and go. You know, so we always be grateful for this day, and this day is always the first day of the rest of your life.
I'm glad to see my age, I'll tell you that much. I'm definitely glad to see that. I just celebrated the birthday.
Nah,
well, we both
I don't
did.
agree with that.
Yes, you do.
No, I ain't talking about a birthday. I said I'm not glad to see my age. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all I've been through.
Thankful means glad in this situation. I'm thankful too. I'm serious. In this day and times, riding public transportation, driving in your car, anything, corruption, eruption, all
Life
can
is
start
just
at
not
any
promised.
minute.
Life is just not promised.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm thankful, man. I got on my knees before I even knew that I could get on my knees. And I thank him. And it wasn't because of what I went through. It's just because of what I didn't go through. You know, compared to what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing right now, I think I got off kind of light.
Yeah, it's because as you look, you say it's a lot of people that are worse off.
Yeah,
It's always
so
somebody
much.
doing worse than you.
It's to the point where I read about a month and a half ago, older lady in her 70s or early 80s sitting on a stoop taking a rest, and the car ran her over. You know, the car jumped the curb and ran the old lady over. And I'm just saying, Lord have mercy. And I'm at that time in my life when I want to relax, when you want to slow down, but the environment in which you live, if you slow down, I'm afraid if I slow down, I become a victim.
That's a good way of putting it.
If you slow down,
Sometimes
you become
could be
a victim.
perceived as a victim.
Yeah. If I walk a certain way, if I use a cane or anything, I mean, you're predicted as a victim. Like, I don't want that.
Showing a higher level of vulnerability.
We all
That's
go
what you
into this
think?
thing about pride and what we have to do, but what happened to the pride as people? Like, we're killing each other, choking each other, slapping each other. I mean, I realized since I had so much time to think that, you know, I used to get angry over the smallest things.
Was it worth it, or is it worth it?
No, because whatever you get angry at today just might be there again tomorrow. So, no, I've learned to be patient.
I always say that you getting angry and holding on to that anger only prevents you from finding a solution.
True. And I don't think no one has the solution to anything that's going on right now.
I mean, but you have a better way of handling what you're going through. But if you just sitting there riled up into the anger of the situation and not into a solution, there's always a solution to lessen the pain.
What up, brother? Okay. I think we're afraid. I think a lot of us are afraid. I think a lot of us are afraid of the unknown. And what we know, I think we try to conquer or deal with in a different way. I think we're just afraid of the unknown. And to me...
So you lash out with anger?
Yeah, because I think nobody knows what the future may hold.
Okay, but how do you deal with it after lashing out with anger?
I don't really know how.
But you do acknowledge that you have to start somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
I mean-
Okay, so if you continuously getting angry about the same thing, how much of a ease of the burden are you putting on yourself?
Well, I realize we're only human. You can only shut off certain things sometimes. There's certain things that aggravate you so much You just can't put it down. There are certain
You
things
just can't stop the anger.
well, I'm not going to say the anger, but the thought of being angry or the process of which is putting you in that anger, if it continues to ride your shoulder, it may turn you into a different character.
But usually in that anger, you're not dealing with thought because you're not thinking. You're just lashing out.
But
But that's the point.
But
if
anger
you
is
do
without
think,
consequences, is it not?
if you do think, anger is without consequence.
Is without consequences, because when you're angry, that means that's it. Your conscience has already done left you. You're angry.
No,
this is it.
you can get angry and then give that anger a thought and then say, okay, I understand what's going on. Okay, instead of me sitting here ranting and raving, ready to scream, maybe if I look to the right or go to the right or do something to the right, maybe I can help what's going on the left. But if I'm sitting there ranting, oh, that motherfucker did this or motherfucker did that, and did it all damn day, you haven't figured it out yet. You haven't sat down and accepted that, okay, whatever happened to you happened. Okay, what are you going to do now?
I don't know what I've accepted, but I know
you have to accept whatever happened to you that makes you get angry. You have to accept that, okay, this is what just happened to me. Okay, let's put it on a car accident. You get in a car accident, damn. Some people are stressed them out so bad that you didn't start the rehab, is what I'm saying. You didn't start the rehab. Okay, my car got hit. What am I going to do? Okay, let me call let's start thinking first. Okay, I got to contact my insurance company. I got to contact my spouse, my family members, let them know what's going on, that I was in an accident, but I am all right. What are you going to do about the situation? Some people just go home and get mad and just say, okay, tow it somewhere instead of thinking about instead of thinking about what's to do to move on from here. Some people wrap themselves up in the situation so much they're not figuring out a way out.
Do you think anger is the beginning of violence?
Usually you get angry before you get violent. So if that answers the question.
Can you be violent and angry?
Usually when you're violent, you are angry. The ones you have to worry about are the ones that are not angry at a violent.
Good one.
Those are the ones that you have to worry about. Because there's either he's a mastermind or a total fool.
Quiet assassin.
But you don't know which side he's coming from.
True indeed. But like I said, we have had so much turmoil. And I'm not saying I'm surprised or anything, but I just don't like the news keeps saying that crime is down.
That's the one I heard also.
Yeah, crime is down.
I heard them talking about crime is down. But throughout the whole segment of what they were saying, they did get to the part to say, well, crime is down as a whole. But if you go in these areas where crime is a constant thing, that's what's making the number. See, they weighing the crime that's in that crime area against the whole state. Of course, the whole state is not having crime. But these areas are having crime, so that's what's keeping the numbers down as a whole. Now, if you generate the numbers from that little area, crime is high as hell.
Well, what do we consider crime? Because
anything against the law.
An average kid in the neighborhood,
hitting your car, running away.
In the place where, not to cut you off, I understand what you're saying, but stealing a bag of chips is a crime, right?
Yes.
So my thing is, if you live in these areas where the average child is not stealing a bag of chips, but he's carrying a gun, because this is where we live. I'm just speaking of our environment.
Okay.
And they're getting caught with the guns. Maybe they haven't used it yet, but maybe they're in the process. I don't know. So in our neighborhood, I'm just using gun as an example, because the gun, either way, you get time for the gun. Whether it's
now you're talking about a kid.
I'm talking about a kid.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to stop you there for a minute because with a kid, the first thing has to come to your mind is where would a kid get a gun?
Okay, but I didn't even.
Okay,
let me.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make a point here, a scenario of how people determine what crime is. So now if we go further upstate, suburban area, much nicer. Maybe you got 20 kids on the block. They live in these cul-de-sacs. You know how these houses are built. To go to the store, it may not be the corner store, but it might be the local gas station, however you see it. Kid goes in there, he steals. It's no big deal. It doesn't hit the news. But it happens more often than a kid here getting arrested with a gun. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if a kid
I would
gets
think that would happen more often.
what I'm saying is that if you have a place where the majority of the people are living, crime is going to be of a high rate. For somebody to say that, well, crime doesn't happen over here, no, because you only got 20 people over here. You only got 20 kids, depending on a person who lives on a Bronx block, who may have 1,000 kids on one block, depending on what block you live in. If you and now mind you, if you live in the project, you hitting all four corners.
Okay, so let's take it this way then. Say you got, all right, we're gonna say there's 1,000 kids in that area, or just say this certain part of the Bronx.
Hope I made my point right. I think.
No, I understand what you're saying,
Okay.
but let's put it on the terms of you have the same amount of people,
Right.
but just in different areas.
Yes.
But because you have different control of certain areas.
Right.
I don't like the word control, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Now, so what's your excuse then?
But see, there is no excuse. Because like you said, if you go to certain neighborhoods, there's some neighborhoods in the Bronx, you only got 5 kids on the block.
No, that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, I'm
the
sorry.
point I'm trying to make is, say you got the same amount of kids in where the destruction is going on.
Right.
You go to a different side of town, which got the same amount of kids, but less destruction.
Right.
So that would be more of a controlled environment, would you say?
No, I just say that it's not a controlled environment. It's just that the environment shows you who controls their household.
Okay,
Not
control environment.
Well, I can't say because the environment doesn't speak. To me, the environment and your household are two different things. But your household is part of the environment.
But we're talking about the crime.
I understand.
Now, if we wait a minute, we got same amount of people in 2 different counties.
Yes.
But how come this county got so much crime and this county doesn't?
As far as age-wise.
No, same age and everything. We're doing the same aspect.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what
same
we're talking
aspect,
about.
but your laws are more enforced over here, whereas they're not over here. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, so let me bring this to a point to you. On 173rd Street, we used to have the Madison Square Boys Club. Right?
Okay.
That boys club used to house children from a certain age group, like from 6 to 17, 13,
okay.
or whatever. Because it did change. The policy of it changed. Now, they cut down that because you didn't have too many kids in the community coming to the boys club like you used to.
Okay.
It cut down so much that they got rid of it.
Right.
It was no longer a necessity for the neighborhood. Do you think that was because of the lack of kids, or because of the lack of crime that was going on for the kids who
You said a lack of crime?
Listen what I'm saying. Because they believe with the boys club open, the 6 to 13, those children
should be safer.
Right, because of the environment that they're in inside the boys club. Now, when you shut them doors, right, you still leaving that age group from 14 to 21 out, which is the most crucial part of a teenager's so
growth.
Now, are you part of the crime because you closed your doors? Because that age group no longer
I know what you're saying. I wouldn't say part of the crime.
Okay,
but
I'm sorry,
part
but
of the problem.
Part of the problem, but you understand my point.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, in these certain areas, doors don't close.
Right. That's the point I'm trying. That's the point I was making about the difference between the two.
That's why I was trying to make my point.
Right.
In certain
That's
areas,
why I just called that a controlled area, because, like you said, their situation is controlled, where they're going to make sure they provide and have that place for their kids to go to instead of being on the street.
Right. But what I'm saying to you, if you gave a child down here who was out of control and you put him up there, I believe he's still going to be out of control, because he's out of control in a household that he's already pretty much running wild in anyway.
I
changing
disagree with that.
Changing his location doesn't make him a better person.
I disagree with that.
I think that's
because
just
I
me.
believe. Okay.
Go ahead.
He learned what he knows as far as negatively in that environment.
Right.
And take him out of that environment where he's given options to other things other than what he was doing before,
right,
to get in trouble. He has opportunity, he has choices now. So that deterrent right there would be a total change for him. That's why even in drug programs, They say they have 12 steps. One of the steps is change your people, places, and things. That's one of the main reasons for that, because you're not in the environment where you learned and did all the dirt. To change your environment, you can change your outcome.
But how do you change your outcome if you don't change your household?
By you changing your environment, you are changing your household.
Now there are certain situations where you can get a kid who has a rough household who could come out into a better environment because he chooses to walk through certain doors.
Right.
But my whole thing is, it all starts from the home. If the home doesn't have the proper structure, how do you expect the young person to have structure in the environment?
That's not always so. Because there has been plenty of movies and plenty of examples that show that there's a child in a broken home, but they come out and show their talents, like in school or things like that, and people start to notice them. Just because you're raised a certain place don't mean you want to live by that.
What is a broken home? I always hear people say that.
Well, broken home. Well, what is broken? You have a toy that's broken. It doesn't work.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if something's not working for the benefit, you consider it to be broken.
For years, I tried to determine if I came from a broken home. And most people think because you have both parents there, your home is not broken.
Broken.
Because I don't know what broken means.
Well, broken is violence in the home.
Did
Normally,
we struggle?
Violence, drug abuse. I'm giving you some examples. In a home where there's violence, drug abuse, physical abuse, all those type of things.
What may not be abusive to the obvious doesn't mean it's not abusive.
Not said. I agree with you.
So what I'm saying to you is, I have this theory that I always tell people: don't always believe because your person has two parents that they don't have a broken home. Because when the doors are closed, you don't see. Now, I'm not telling you that I was one of them children, but I'm not telling you that every time we walked in that door, everything was sweet. It was black love it was black love at its highest degree. For people who had to learn to live together, to strive together, to eat together in order to prosper to what we have now.
Well, that understanding,
it's not easy.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
That understanding of, I'm going to say the understanding of two parents in a home, to me, automatically tells that, I'm talking about as far as the parents, that there's two people that have the opportunity to make a decision that goes on in the house and not just one.
Right.
So it was always said that two heads are better than one. So if you have two people working for the same goal, to feed, to shelter the household, it works better. It works better.
On whose standard?
Or just on the standard of a household. You have two people working for the same cause and making sure you got two people to make sure that you eat. Better than one person making sure that you eat. I'm just saying.
I know one person. I'm just telling you.
We're not talking about individual people. We're talking about the odds of two people making sure you eat than one person making sure you eat. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about, one of them is an alcoholic and the other one is this. No, we're talking about two people working for the same cause. Two parents working to have two children that go to school, come home, do what they supposed to do. They go to work, do what they supposed to do to make sure that there's food and the bills is paid.
See, well, the reason why I'm saying that because as a child I was fortunate. But my children weren't fortunate because I didn't grow up in the homes with them, but I was always there. So you got to understand what I'm saying.
I know, but what made them fortunate was that you was fortunate before they got to you, before they got here.
That's what I'm saying. A person with a two-parent home doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to turn out better.
No,
than
it don't.
Right?
No, it doesn't.
So my point, it shouldn't have to do with the environment. It starts at home. If the adult who's at home is able to control the home environment where the child understands that when you walk out the door, you're still representing home. You're representing me, us, the family, and everything else is a different aspect. But if a child grows up in a home different, everybody grows up in their household different. Everybody sees the world different. So I don't blame the environment. I blame the environment to a certain point because it has to absorb the mixture of homes into the environment.
But that's everywhere.
But that's my point I'm trying to say. People keep saying it's the environment in which you live, and I never agree with that. I accepted it.
Well, the reason why I've always stated it, because I'm speaking environment we grew up in.
I understand, but
I'm not saying the environment made it better. The people made it what it is.
When you walked into your mother's home after our environment, because we've been through some stuff. Mm-hmm. After you walk into your mother's home, was the environment still in your mother's home? You had to shut that off at the threshold.
I understand what you're saying.
So this is why I'm telling you it's not the environment. Okay.
Okay,
go ahead.
Perfect example.
Okay.
Right. We both had parents. I was raised under one parent, but by a village.
And we both end up doing the same.
Right. You know why?
Go
I'm
ahead.
about to hit your point.
Okay.
Because we came back into the street.
But
you said once it's home, you learn one thing, correct?
Yes.
Once you leave home is when you learn your own thing.
Yes.
Well, that's the point. That's what makes your environment what's outside that door.
Yeah, but the thing, this is why I tell people it's not, you can't still blame the environment if you're starting at the home. Because look, even though I had two parents, the one thing that kept the environment from coming to the home was me. Because I never took the environment home, and I never took home to the environment.
Okay, but everybody don't do that. Some people live through the environment through their house.
And this is why
I'm gonna say another thing.
Go ahead.
Because it's kept in the home. I'm gonna say it like this: the only thing that could change the environment is the people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep your goodness sheltered up in the home, how would the outside learn it?
Look, the pressure's on a child every day. When a child goes outside to play at the age of 5 or 6 or the early ages, he has to determine who to play with, because up and down that slide are multicolored children.
Okay.
And some children got attitudes, some children are so possessive of the slide. It all begins then. It all begins on how it works today. You got some parents, when you see two children, 3 or 4 going at it, the parents start going at it. Nah, fuck that. You understand what I'm saying? It's the home environment that comes out into the environment. Now, what do you think happens if they say, okay, baby, let's just go get some ice cream? There are kids that are fighting. The environment changes because the home has
came out.
Well, that's the only thing
that's what I was saying to you.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
When you was telling me that once you close the door, you're not part of the environment.
So, yeah. But what I'm also trying to tell you, so if you take a kid who's out here causing havoc in the environment here, and the home knows it, and he's still doing it, and you take him up there, and the home is the same as down here.
No, but that's the thing. The home is not going to be the same.
Okay, how is it different?
Okay, perfect.
If the head of the house...
Hold on, perfect example.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
When sometime when kids are with mommy at mommy's house, there's a way things is done. Right?
Things, yes.
But when you go to grandma's house, you can't do everything that you could do at mommy's house.
That's a fact.
That's the difference.
Yes.
That's the difference. When you change that environment, things must change for you to cope in that environment.
Okay, so now what happens when he leaves grandma's house?
Hopefully he learned something that he can take back with him.
But this is why I'm telling you, and that's a perfect example, because I go through that with my grandkids. I am a harsh grandfather because I am a harsh dad, but that's because of the environment that I grew up in. My mother didn't pull no punches, neither did my father. Mm-hmm. If you think you're a man in my house, I'm going to treat you as such. The back talk deserved the slap deserved a knockout if you got too crazy. Ass whooping wasn't something that was a secret. It was known throughout the building. I'm whooping his ass, and if you got a problem, I'm going to whoop your ass too. You understand? And most people nowadays, they don't like that. And I
don't put your hand on my child.
On my child. In my environment,
my thing is keep him with you then.
In which I grew up in, I am very strict. So when I tell my children to stop and they don't stop, the next thing, man, shut the down. I'm that's me. But that doesn't mean that it's to some people. They say, well, you know what? That's abusive. Well, I don't know what abusive is because that's normal in my family. You understand what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean I was raised wrong because I still went to one of the best high schools and still got scholarships to college and just didn't go.
Okay,
So,
wait. If
go
they
ahead.
okay, it is. I'm going back to the abusive. So, bad behavior is not abusive.
No, but some
I'm saying
people fit when they hear parents talk to their children. Some parents talk to their children that regulates to the child. So some children don't hear, "Hey, baby, stop! Please don't do it. Please sit down."
That's something that has to
go in the corner.
That's something that has to be passed on. It ain't something
just
they're
said
gonna go,
that.
wait.
I'm sorry.
It ain't something that's just gonna go on right then. But like I was trying to say a minute ago, though, they talk about abusive behavior from the parent to the child.
Right.
So that bad ass behavior from the child is not abusive?
I don't know.
No. I'm just saying.
Because
I'm just saying
that depends on your
that
household.
combats the badness of the parent. You
That
see
might
the
be-
parent lash out, say, "Oh my God, look what he's about to beat his child." You don't see what this fucking child done
Yeah,
did for
but,
the
but
past.
if to a parent, if that's not normal in their upbringing or in their household to have to deal with the child in that nature,
Right.
To them it's
They
abusive.
right. I got you. Because their child don't do that because they was raised
Because Danny got to
different.
stand in the
I'm not
corner.
gonna say right.
Well, right.
Exactly.
Well, Jose ain't standing in no fucking corner. I'm going to whoop your ass until you
But
understand
that has to
I'm
come
not-
from he would have stood in the corner if he was raised like that. He wasn't raised like that.
I'm just telling you that people make sense of what is abusive and what is in line and out of line. The whole thing is if everybody would stick to raising their children, our outside environment might be a little better. I'm just being honest.
Oh, of course.
Well,
of course. I understand the
so
teaching
to-
starts at home.
So my whole point is, if you take a kid who's bad out here because his home environment is fucked up, sending him up to the suburbs, it might be different because he might
tear the suburbs up.
he might start robbing your home, man. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're
Putting
saying.
the child in the environment has nothing to do with it. It has a lot
It
to do
does have
with
a lot to do with it. Changing a child's environment has a lot to do with it
If the-
because wait a minute, because
Yeah.
the rules change. That's what I'm saying.
Not for the child, for the parent.
The rules change for the child.
For the parent.
The rules change for the child because you come in here. Oh, I'm gonna go back to the same one I said before.
Yeah.
That's just like there's been a thing for years that usually when your child is acting up, what they do, send them down south to grandma because grandma's not going for that.
Right.
When you go down there, your behavior is gonna change
But why grandma's not going for that?
because
Small-
that's not the way.
Pay attention
Go ahead.
to this now.
Go ahead.
You send the kids up to the suburb with the same parent he lives down here in the city with, right?
Didn't say that. I said send them with grandma.
Okay, you send him okay, perfect.
Go,
Okay, we can use
he
grandma.
could, go ahead.
We use grandma. See, in the inner city, he's not a standout.
I'm listening.
He's an interest, but he's not a standout. And what I mean is the parent doesn't get to stand out. But that's such and such mother. You understand
Okay,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, it's different you go to the suburb because not only are you such and such mother, now you the standout. Because now the community is watching you. Here the community can't look at you because they can't judge you. Because nobody in this community knows what their child is doing for you to judge somebody else. But they do it anyway. Mm-hmm. See, in those small communities, it changes because now the parent has to change because now that parent becomes the topic of center. Oh, that's such and such child. You have to understand, in a small community, some people don't want to be embarrassed. They go there to hide.
I disagree.
I'm just being honest
I
with you.
disagree.
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to the same stages that we was raised. When you went down south, you was acting bad. So how do you explain the majority of the kids that start off rough here and wind up going to college down south
Community.
and getting it?
You just hear what I just said? The community is more people watching you.
No.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
No, bruh. It ain't
Go
got nothing to
ahead.
do with community. It got to do with the household. They're not going to the community. They're going to the household. They going to grandma's house where you can't do that in grandma's house. You're not gonna get up and lay in the bed all day in grandma's house.
You're not gonna embarrass me.
It ain't got nothing to embarrass me. This is how we was raised. You're not doing that.
You're not gonna embarrass me.
It has
I'm
nothing to
just
do with
telling you,
embarrassing.
You walk out this house, you represent.
No, that's already known. No, you're gonna represent because you're gonna be taught right. This is how we do in this house.
We say
it
the
ain't got
same
nothing to do
thing
with
different
community.
ways.
Okay,
Same
it ain't
thing,
got nothing
different
to do with community. It has to do with what's going on in that household. Because here, you're not getting up. When you get up in the morning, you're gonna make that bed. You're gonna have some chores to do, and you're gonna go to school, and you're going to church. So you telling me that all of them?
I ain't bringing.
Oh, you're not staying.
I ain't bringing church into it. I'm just saying.
Well, it depends on what parents go is strict into the church.
I'm just saying that
The grandparents.
it all depends on the household.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You take them from one household and put them in a structured household that has rules and discipline and chores. Shit, you crazy as hell.
We all at sometimes have dysfunctional households. We all at times, because everything is not always done equally or done on time.
Our households are only dysfunctional because we allow it.
It happens.
It doesn't happen. It's something we do. That's just like saying, no, it ain't happened. That's what you did. That's what we caused. I'm gonna say we. That's what we caused. We caused the problems in our household for this to be allowed. Because other people who do not allow those standards don't have that problem. They don't have that problem because they don't live like that. We allow our children to do that.
Like I said, I had to think about myself, because as a person who was part of this environment, I had no reason, because I had good parents.
You made a choice.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. It had nothing to do with the environment where I live. I chose to be out here because.
But wait! You just said it, to be out here in the environment.
Right, but also when I went home, I understood that environment that I enjoyed out here, I couldn't enjoy in the house either.
Exactly.
So, it was one of those things where my mother didn't ask me to leave because she didn't even know at first.
I understand.
She didn't even know at first because I kept it from knocking on her door. That was the only difference, and we know we didn't have cameras the way they have cameras. My brother, how are you today? Yeah, Randy. How you come back, brother? Come back. How do you know me?
Boys and Girls Club. He just said that. Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, brother. All right now. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
See, he just talking about the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, man. Listen, you know how many times I get that a day?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm sorry. That's why I like broadcasting outside. So I always wanted the young kids to see that there are other obligations.
Other options.
Other options, sorry, yeah. What I said, obligations? I didn't mean that. Other options. Right. And you can do it too. You can do it too.
Like I said, it's a venting. It allows you to say things you probably didn't have the time to say, couldn't say, wouldn't say. Am I on the wrong side? Don't get fucked up early this morning. No, I just washed my car. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot we was. You gotta come all the way to the sanitation truck. I'm on the wrong side.
That's why I was quiet to see that he gonna check. Wait, now you can't go too far, man. The headphones don't go that far. Now you ain't getting no
I'm on the wrong side. Look, ain't nobody on the side of the street.
I'm sitting here watching. I knew that already.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize till the sanitation man came down and he looked like he was just gonna push me out the way.
See, it's just one of those summertime blocks where nobody sits on be on. We in the park, but you all right. I've been sitting here watching. Nobody comes to here.
Oh, what? No, shit.
Nobody comes to here.
I'll make sure you get that ticket.
This is one of them what you would call a quotas block. But
exactly.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why I brought it up today, I just want people to be self-conscious of what's really going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in your surroundings, from your schools, your teachers, your doctors, your lawyers. Everybody's going through a concept of stranger danger. That's what
ups and downs.
Yeah. So be careful. Be self-conscious. Even when you ride in the train, people, this crime is not what you think it is on the media. It is crazy out here, man. These kids are definitely do not have a chance without the parents watching over them. So watch over them.
What's crazy about it's not even predictable. It's so spontaneous. The crime that's going on, people are just doing it.
It's just doing it.
That has a lot to do with mental health. There's a lot to do with stress, unable to deal with life's challenges, all kind of stuff.
We are living in the times, and I'm telling people, if you think about the last 5 years, our children are leaving the earth before we are. And that's something that should not happen. our children are leaving this earth before we are, and it's a majority of mothers and fathers who can get together and talk about just that my child left too early. So we have to change. I don't know what the fuss is about, what's all the ruckus. You know, I even tell my last two, like, you know, I got a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they are off the chain. And I ask them why every day, and it's partial to things they see on TV, things they see outside. So
pressures of social media.
you know, yeah.
We was talking about that prior to starting the show on how I've seen the changes in kids and they're not interacting with each other no more. What happened to the days when girls got together and did double dutch outside and the guys was shooting skelly and playing ball, stick ball, and all those things? That's what I grew up with in the Bronx. I grew up with activities without our phones. Once AI came with these phones, there's no interacting anymore.
Phones and cameras,
unless you're into sports.
Phones and cameras changed the way children play today. That's just it. Because most group of kids will get together, but they're roadblocking. They're not stickballing or soccer or
roadblocking.
They're playing roadblock. Or
I'm
Call of Duty or 2K, and because even I'm 2K. So it's a different way to communicate. But people ask me, why do you 2K? Because I get to communicate with my children.
Well,
The thing is that while we're playing, we're also talking about life, what's going on, how this is happening, why this is happening. It's the same thing. You have to, sometimes the level changes. Sometimes in order to pull a child up to your level, it's hard. So you got to meet the child halfway. Make them calm, make them understand, you know. And people say playing video games, that's all day. Hey, but listen, if your child's having problems reading, he has to read and add and all that other stuff and play the video game. So just pay attention. Sometimes what you think doesn't help. Because I remember I wouldn't read.
You have to monitor it for these younger kids. You have to monitor it and make sure they can have phone time, but they also need read time. They also need work time, even though it's summer. Even though it's the summer, they need to read. It's not even a seasonal thing. It's an educational thing. You need to read something every day.
If you don't want their life to be simple, why introduce them to simple things?
No, because it's a choice. It's a choice. It's not. You want them to understand the educational factor.
Okay.
You want them to not lack learning because of it.
Right.
That's the main thing. You want them to be on a game all day and not be learning anything.
You know what happens to the phone now?
What happens to
the phone? Became the new latchkey.
Okay.
The phone is the babysitter.
Okay.
Call me when you get here. Call me when you get on the bus. Call me when you get to school. Call me when you call
all
me.
That's understood.
But that's the problem.
That's the problem?
Yeah, when you rely on technology to place your children, because I understand you got to work. I do understand that. I do. Look, don't get me wrong.
What you mentioned before sound more like a security feature, and that I do agree with. While your child has the phone while they're going to school because of the way the world is now.
Yeah, but then that's the case that if you know the way the world is, why are you using the phone?
No, if you know the way the purpose for that, and for this conversation right now,
they're snatching kids and finding phones.
Okay, well at least they can track them with the phone.
And like I said,
they have traction with the phone. It's monitoring.
There are some people who have no choice.
You don't but you don't agree with the monitoring. That you can at least monitor your
child.
child.
In this day and times, you got 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds riding New York City subways to school by themselves.
Go ahead.
And the only thing they got to monitor them is a phone.
The only thing?
A phone.
Yes.
Okay, and I understand the situation of a parent. Not knocking no parent. Because God forbid if I'm put in that situation, I've been lucky. Do you understand? I've been lucky. I've been lucky because the mother of my children were able to work with me in certain things, and God was able to give me the certain tools that I needed to get back and forth. I've been lucky. Lucky. Mm-hmm. Lucky, blessed, however you want it, highly favored, whatever you want to call. But there are children who are not. and I don't think it's a safe way. I don't think a child who's on his own should have a phone. I think they have to find another way of transportation to get to school, and it's costly. It is.
Find another way to get to school.
It's costly.
Why do they have to find another way to get to school?
Because
I'm not understanding that.
most parents can't ride with their kids to school because they have to be to work themselves.
Okay, and you don't think that the phone could be I'm not saying an alternative for a parent taking a son to school, but when your child is old enough to go to school by themselves, for them to have a phone that they can communicate on, you know how things happen in the street.
What is old enough?
That depends on the family.
That's my point.
Well, that depends on the family.
So if you're telling
It's
me
a choice.
do you agree that a 7 or 8-year-old is old enough to ride the subway by itself?
No,
To ride
definitely
ride
not.
the city bus by itself?
No.
But it's happening.
Okay, that's not the aspect I'm
and
talking
they're
about.
giving these-
I'm talking
and they-
about like a 12 or 13-year-old, even a 10-year-old that has to walk to school maybe 2 to 3 blocks.
I'm talking about a child who rides public
That's
transportation.
right, okay.
Anybody under the age of 14 is too young.
Okay.
And 14 at that time is a questionable decision depending on the maturity of the child.
Yes.
So we're talking about a single child riding on the bus or subway by itself.
Normally it's not single though if they're going to school, because usually it's other kids going to the same
That
school.
don't matter.
That don't matter?
No, the child's by
That they're
itself.
in a group?
And that's the whole thing about what I'm saying about parents saying what's okay because
That depends on the parent.
But what
That's all I can say.
I'm trying to prove my point.
Mm-hmm.
The being okay if he's in a group with a phone, how is that okay? Because if something happens to that child, you're not around. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
I hear what you're saying.
So
I hear the possibilities of something happening, but just like you just said,
Go ahead.
it depends on the parent, right? You being a different kind of parent, that's something you wouldn't do.
I'm not a different type of parent.
That is, you are a different type of parent.
No.
If you're saying
No.
that you don't think that's right. You
I'm
are
tell-
a different kind of
I'm-
parent.
I'm
There
telling
are
you-
certain parents that say 8-year-old can have a phone. You would be one, or I would be one that said no, I don't think so.
I was a parent who also had to be to work and drop the kids off too.
I understand that.
You know, the thing is that I chose, not that I'm different, I chose to take that hit. Like, I don't care about you firing me. I don't care about, you're not going to tell me that I have to send my child on public transportation to school while I go the other direction.
Nobody tells you that.
They do tell you that. They do tell you
They
that.
cannot tell you
Jobs
how
threaten parents who have children in that situation because they can't get to work on time because they
they
got to
have to
drop
drop the
off the
child.
kid off at school.
They have to find means. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, this is what I'm telling you. One of the means is not phone traveling. Sorry, it's not
Okay.
it.
No, I don't
It's
use
too
that
many-
as a substitute.
too
No,
many-
I don't agree with that.
My whole thing is that there's too many ways, and they're telling these kids that they can't provide them with school buses, bus service. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. We have to pay attention to what our comptroller spends our money on. And it's not education for the kids. There's no way a kid 7 to 8 should be traveling on especially if a mother has the right to fill out a form to saying she needs help, where the school bus can pick the child up in a certain area. Even that is dangerous.
Okay, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I believe that is a possibility for most kids.
It's not.
Why is it not?
Even a child who could take the bus sometimes can't. They just can't because sometimes that
Because
school.
what?
Listen. Just bear with me. A school bus is only going to stop in certain areas.
Okay, then you have to get your child to that area then. I
Yeah,
guess.
but what
Go
if
ahead.
what if you're some parent who dog? Some bus stops, just like ours, is 5 blocks away.
I don't. Well,
You see where we live at? Where we
yeah.
at down there?
Mhm.
Our school bus stop is up here. So
I don't know about that. I
this
see
is
school
one of-
buses coming through all day.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. School buses don't stop everywhere. School buses should make stops like city buses.
I see the school buses making stops that city buses don't make. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But I'm trying to explain to you because there's certain places that buses go. If your child can't get to the bus stop, he can't ride.
Okay, I don't see that.
It doesn't. The school bus doesn't travel a main route like the. Like
No,
the
it
New York-
doesn't.
like
but
the New York
most
City-
schools
But it should.
provide. Wait, most
ahead.
schools provide. Okay, I'm gonna say for the block I live on, there's at least 10 different buses that come through there that pick up kids from 10, 12 different schools.
Okay.
So that's why I say there got to be a means of application, like you said, to fill out to have your child picked up if it's too far. That's what I'm saying.
School buses don't change their routes. So if
They
your
don't
school-
change their routes, but you can find a way to get your child to school these days. That's something that I don't. Well, I can only speak for where I live, and I see on my days off, and I'm outside in the daytime. I see all right now. I see plenty of school buses come through there for the handicapped, for the mentally disturbed, for the altered students. That's a garbage truck.
Oh.
The altered students, up to the students who are just like you said, too young to ride by themselves.
It's
Public
it's
assistance
happening.
provides that for it, so it's not an affordability type thing.
Same thing with the elderly.
Exactly. So it is there. It is available. If your child has to go through all of that, I don't want to say it's something that the parents are not doing right, but I see it's available a lot.
Some bus routes are just too far, man.
That's because if you want to go to a particular school, if you want to go to a private school, but if it's a school that's in your district, they provide for a way for you to get there.
And I don't believe in all that district either. If a school accepts you because of your academical skills, then that's what it is. That school should provide a way for you to get to school.
Right. But the reason why I do believe in district is because the way I've seen it is sectioned off based on the schools and based on the housing of where you live. Now, if you want to take your child and put him in the district 2 districts over, then that should be your responsibility to get your child there, because there's schools in the area that your child can go to.
The kid can't go to school if the school doesn't accept him. I
heard that the child can't be not accepted in your district. So maybe I'm misinformed.
All I'm saying to
Why
you
wouldn't
is,
a child, explain that to me. Why would a child be not accepted?
it's too far out the district. According to the school, if they feel you too far out the district, they're not going to accept you because it's a time frame of getting to school.
No, I've heard of that, but that's why I just said that's what I just said about you have schools in your district that you can go to. If you decide to send your child 2 districts over, you have to provide a way for them to get there.
Okay, we both live in that type of district. Do you send your child to your district school? Because I know I don't, and I know the
They
reason
have went
why
to the local schools.
Was that okay with you?
Yes, I didn't see anything wrong with it.
I didn't.
So you seen something wrong with 50 and 66?
Well, we're talking about the time of seeing that era. I wasn't around.
Okay, well,
So
I haven't heard.
I stopped paying attention because I left public school a long time ago. Not saying, I'm talking mind frame, because I was thinking different, because my pockets could afford different.
Now,
So I didn't think of district, but I went to local schools. So
Well, if
I'm
you
not
went-
saying that. What I'm saying to you is that you have parents who want to put children in different schools.
see, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's my point. You want to put your child in a different school, not in the schools in your district, because you don't trust those schools or you don't like the schools, whatever the reason.
Right.
So that should be on you to to get your child to
saying,
school.
No, I'm not saying it shouldn't be on me. But what I'm saying to you as a school, if you know that this child is 2 districts over, there should be some type of transportation.
Not for the school to provide. No. You the parent. You chose your child to go to that school.
By you going to that school, do you know that school gets paid for you going to that school?
Well,
You
then
are part of
okay.
you
Go
are
ahead.
part of their regiment as far as generating money, because you go to that school. You know the
Based on your payment.
yeah,
Your parents' payment.
or payment, or however the school
Sometimes
district.
they donate a wing to the school or whatever. I
even
understand
the state,
all that.
Wait now. Even
Go
wait
ahead.
Now, wait
Go
now.
ahead.
Wait, let me land. Even the state, even the DOE, Department of Education, they're not going to give a school if it's not if the adequates are not right. If the education is not up to standard, they're not. That's just a school they rather close down and move over here because they feel that funding is because you don't have the adequate kids learning.
Right, you don't have the proper
But
graduate,
that's why your local schools
and analytics and all of that.
Well, this is why your local schools are closing down now. This is the same way as your local churches are closing down.
Okay.
There's no one attending because there's no one there. You can't attend something if you're going to send okay, let's just use this neighborhood for I don't want to point out which school, so I'm not going to say the name of the school, but I am going to say that the teachers that they have in the district, in 2 districts over, is not the same teachers that are in this district.
Correct.
And you understand what I'm saying? So your child is not getting the same education.
Correct.
So they rather send your child local because they're telling you, well, that school
it's in your district.
Yeah.
I got you.
And it's not worth anything.
Okay.
It's not worth anything.
Right. Now, and you are a parent that can afford to send your child somewhere else.
No, I'm not a parent. I'm a parent who struggles to send his child.
I'm just saying this is the example that we're making.
What I could afford and what I can't afford, it's not a matter of, it's what I'm willing to sacrifice in order for them to go. And thank God they go to a good school that I don't have to pay for. The only thing that have to come out of my pocket is uniform. But that's besides the point. It's the teachers that attend the school. You understand? If those group of teachers that attend the school were at this same district over here, my children would be going over close to home.
I understand that.
That's the only point I'm saying. When it comes to these certain schools that sit in these certain areas, they give them these third-rated teachers, and that's not fair. Not to put any mark on a
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. If you feel like your child is going there and they're not getting adequate teaching,
a push along school is the worst kind of school to have.
Oh, we had that talk a while back. We had that talk a while back because I didn't like that.
I didn't want to bring it up again, but
you got to bring it up again.
That push along is what
when the student automatically graduates at the end of the year, regardless of grades.
Yes,
that I totally don't agree with.
Wow.
So who do you blame that on? You blame that on the teachers?
I blame that on the whole set.
No, the system.
Parent, listen. You asked me a question, and I'm giving you an answer. I blame it on the parent, the teacher, the principal, the board, and anybody else who's involved with that educational part of the child. For the parent for not understanding what's happening and you keeping the child there, to the teachers who know what's happening and you refuse to stand up and say this is wrong for the kids.
So you think it's better? Wait a minute.
My plane almost landed. I gotta
get landed. You rolling. You sitting in the
gotta get to the principal.
You gotta leave.
And to the principal who's not strong enough to say I can't use this third-rated teacher. I need something uprated for the community.
That's not the teachers. That's not the teachers. The president. The principal. Wait a minute. The principal cannot have that comment towards the teacher because it doesn't work that way.
That's why I said the teacher's soft. Teacher's soft. The principals are soft.
The teacher supposed to be putting pressure on.
The principal supposed to put the pressure on the teacher and the board.
It's coming down from the principal and up, and the board. That's where it's coming from. It's not coming from the teachers. The teachers don't make no decisions. The teachers only go through with what they're being told as far as a criterion.
If we are paying attention to what's happening across the board in our Bronx communities, I'm just using the Bronx community, they are closing the daycares and the children's centers that are really helping these children. So they don't want that. They don't want kindergartners and first grade and pre-kindergartners to learn anything. They still rather them with the ABCs, 1, 2, 3. Some of these kindergarten places are highly advanced. And these children are coming out well. These are the places that they're closing down. Look at it. Pay attention to the school and the higher learning centers that they're closing down. They're closing them down. And some of these places, parents pay their money to get in. They're closing them down. They don't want they don't want. Let me not use they. Let me just say allegedly it's one of those things where I think a lot of people are afraid of education within the inner city. Because if the children started to educate themselves in the inner city, and the crime truly grows down, and things start to change, people start to change, what's going to happen to the police officers, the firemen, and the paramedics? They're going to lose their fucking jobs. they're going to lose their jobs. There's no way you're going to pay a cop $100,000 and he ain't seen a major crime case in 4 years. You understand what I'm saying? I know you laugh, but I'm just saying. I tell people pay attention to the wildfires. You think them things weren't set deliberately? You got to pay these firefighters, man. Just like you got to pay these teachers. These teachers go out there and they get a degree. They start making up schools for these teachers to go to. They start making up schools for these teachers to go to without even paying attention to what's really happening. But that's just us. That's just the society we live in because you know what? Most of us are working. We need babysitters.
That's jobs.
Hence goes the school push you forward. As long as the parents see their child graduated, they're satisfied.
No.
Okay.
But then when your child comes to the table and you ask him some questions and he don't know what the hell you talking about.
Only certain parents care about that.
You kidding me?
Okay.
You think only certain parents feel that if their child, okay, we're going to go on a lower level, let's just say 2-3 years old. They passing them without them graduating. You ask your child how to spell cat. Your child can't even spell cat, but he just graduated. Come on, man. And you think that's okay? Some parents say it's okay?
Listen, I think a working parent is the most difficult thing to be. Because you're not fully
engaging?
Overseeing. Yeah.
But you still engaging your child even if you have to work.
Like I said, a working parent is the most difficult parent to be.
Well, what else are you going to be?
Especially if
you're a parent.
Especially a parent who has a child going from first.
That's part of life, to be a parent and be working most in a high percentage. I ain't gonna say difficult time.
Especially a parent from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Okay, if you're not working, you should have more time with your children then.
Well, that's the point I made of the household. Glad you proved my point. Because you can't be everywhere, so hence comes the phone. Remember, it used to be the key. Listen to what I'm saying. When a parent,
I hear what you're saying.
When a parent used to work, the child used to come home. Somebody used to be there to pick up the child. The child had the key around his neck, go in the house, close the door.
Okay, how old are we talking about, first of all?
They were all the same age, 7, 8, 9.
You got to put the age on it. Because at a certain age, I had a key at a young age.
Well, so did I. That's what I'm trying to tell you. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I had keys. Because I was coming home from school. Both my parents were. Okay. Now, if I was in this day and time, 7, 8, 9, I probably would have had a phone.
Yeah. But so wait, you had a key and not a phone, so why you think the phone is bad?
Because the phone would have connected to somebody who had a key. Because most of the days
right.
and time,
but okay, so you had a key, but you didn't think that was bad.
I don't know what was bad. I was a child. I was only following.
No, I'm talking about now. You now.
As I see it, yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Me traveling by myself as a child, having a key coming home. Anybody could have pushed me the fuck in. I'm not excluding my parents. I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the same scenario.
I'm telling you that
of an 8 or 9 year old
I'm telling you that working parents have it harder than any other parent because they're not there. There's a time lapse of the time they wake up to the time they meet their child again. There's a time lapse. You don't know what that lapse is. You get maybe a 20 to maybe depending on how long 2 to 3 minute call between phone calls. That's your time lapse because you're at work.
Right.
Where there's a parent who leaves, when he leaves, parent is there. When he come home, parent is there. Think about
depending on your job, it's a possibility too.
You keep saying about the job, they got to work.
No, I'm saying you go to work. You say you go to work 7 to 4. Your child go to school from 7 to 3 or 7 to 4.
That doesn't mean you're gonna come home in time to get the child from school.
No, I didn't say that.
There's
I said you'll be home with your child. As your child getting home, you're getting home.
It has to be a better way for the system to help working parents. That's the whole point of me making this fuss.
Okay.
You know, as a parent taking my children to school, I started riding the bus because I did my car situation. But I'm riding the bus. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the parents who struggle, parents who ride their kids to school, and then they got to let the kid off at St. Anne's, 9 years old, and tell them to just go straight to school. Shit. How many people might have been watching you on that bus who might be following that child now after he gets off the bus because you got to continue on to work?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I
And then,
understand
and then
what
the
you're
whole
saying.
situation is you calling them on the phone. So now you asking him to walk around, not paying attention to his environment, but paying attention to his phone. You know what I'm saying?
How many kids you know take attention to their environment any damn way?
Yeah, but most of the kids who pay attention to their environment that don't have phone know their environments very well. They know if they
That's
get in
true.
trouble, they know where to go. A kid with a phone only knows one thing: I got to call.
I can call, but I can call.
If you can make the call, because
That's true.
once that phone is broken or whatever, what you gonna do?
Well, I would say no. I would say run in the store. That's the normal thing you would do. If you feel somebody following you, you're supposed to go, and your kid's supposed to go into the local store.
Junior ran
Right.
into a store, and they dragged him out. Store owners
you
don't want to
right.
get involved.
You right. No, well, that's
This is what I'm trying to tell
that's
you
a
about
particular situation.
about children being on their own. And this was a good kid. He was a good kid, part of the police cadet. Do you see what I'm saying? The environment. No,
I
because
don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing.
the environment outside is different from your home. His home told him he see trouble, run. He didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He did exactly what you would tell your child to do.
Yep.
He ran in the store for safety. What did he do wrong?
He didn't do nothing
But
wrong.
that's my
he
point.
he was basically hunted
And they
under
found,
false pretenses. They thought it was him, and it wasn't him. Wasn't
and this
the
is
person
on.
they was looking for.
This was on camera. So what I'm trying to tell you, nobody's safe. So imagine a kid who got a phone who don't know the environment. We need help. We need help, and it's not just the parents on welfare and the parents who are not working parents. We need help with our system.
Okay, now what solution do you have?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't give a solution until I understand the cries of help.
Well, you already know the cries of help.
No, I don't. I'm learning them. I'm learning what the cries are.
You just told of a cry
I
of
told
help.
you one part of what I've seen.
Okay, so what about?
There's so much more to see.
Do you see any ways of changing what you just
No,
said? Is what I'm saying.
you just gave me a scenario where it can't happen.
It
Parents
can't?
have. You just told me parents have to work. So kids who got phones, that's it.
No, I didn't say that.
There's no other solution. You telling them don't go to work can't happen.
Because of their kids, you talking about 8 and 9 year olds, or 7 and 8 year olds.
Do you know that kids who go to school in the suburbs, their bus stops are unique? So they don't stop on the street corners. They stop in communities to pick up children for school. That's
Okay.
the difference. That's the
Okay.
difference.
All right.
If you go south, they're pulling in the community. You meet the bus on this road. But that's everybody who got maybe 5 houses in that area. You're all getting on the bus.
Right.
That ain't happening here.
No, they pick you up in front of your house.
No, they don't. Not here.
Yes, they do.
School buses here?
The school
Shit.
buses I see come through the block picking up kids in front of their house.
Mind you, man, man, your youngest daughter is what?
I sit
30?
out in front and see the kids
What you see
get picked up.
You seeing kids with disabilities, man. I'm not talking about those.
Not all of them. Some of the babies that can't afford to, like you said, go by themselves. There's 5 and 6 year olds. They get picked up and taken to kindergarten.
That's that school. Like I said,
That
that's
provided transportation.
That's the school.
That provided transportation.
When I said that to you earlier, you said no.
No,
I said
you
the
got
school.
it. No,
you
that's
saying
not
no.
true.
Now it's no.
No,
Now
I
it's
didn't say
no.
it is not no.
But the school provided transportation
for
that
a
kid.
local kid. You was talking about somebody 2 districts over.
And like I said, if you're a school who accepts a child, knowing his address, it's your responsibility to help the kid to get to school.
And I
Period.
said no. When I said no was referring to the parent that want his child to go 2 districts over, knowing that it's far from the house, should also provide that transportation.
Now I want you to hear what you just said.
Go
You
ahead.
just told the kid who goes 2 districts over
Yeah.
that he can't take the bus.
No,
Let me finish.
that his parent
Let me put
need
please
to provide
let me
transportation.
finish. Let me
That's what I
finish.
said.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You just told the kid.
I didn't tell the kid anything.
2 districts over. That his parents got to make sure he get to school.
Yes.
That they shouldn't advocate for him to have a school bus.
I didn't
to
say
pick
where they
him up.
shouldn't advocate.
But
I
the
said they have to.
local-
If their
The
application,
local
wait a
child
minute, if their
who can
application
walk
gets
to
them a bus
school.
route, then that's what they
The
get.
local child who can walk to school, who can get to that transportation, who parent can drop them off before they go to work, should
If
be
they have
allowed
the
to ride the
ability.
school bus.
If they have the ability.
That is some top
You
dog bullshit.
No, you
I'm
was
just-
talking about
that's
parents that have to be to work by a
bullshit.
certain time
That's
because
bullshit.
their boss is putting pressure on them about them getting to work on time because they know they got to get their child to school. If you don't have that option, you can't send your child 2 districts over, and the school is not going to provide pickup for the child. You send your child 2 districts over, you maybe in the school or your avocation got to figure out how this kid going to get to school because you want him to go 2 districts over, whether you believe the system is not good in your district or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, and being at school is about to
The
pop up.
the locals can have the
about to
school
start.
bus, but the 2 district over kids
the
must
locals
find a way.
provide school buses for local kids.
Lord have mercy.
You
I seen a lady get picked up by a school whose kids
That's
right
why they
around
have
the corner.
districts.
Right around the corner.
That's why they have districts.
Lord have mercy. Almighty.
Whether you agree with the district or not, that's why they have districts. They have district school buses.
It is good to be back on the mic.
It's good to disagree with you.
It's gonna rain cats and dogs.
Even the
today,
family
man.
ain't used to it because they calling me.
They call it. Yeah, I'm
I
free.
told them I might have been podcasting, but they still gonna call.
They
Anyway.
don't want to hear that. We don't.
No, you know what it is? They looking for the live. They looking for, if he's podcasting, I should be able to see it now. No, we're not doing that today. That's what I'm gonna hear when I get home.
Everybody
I
miss
thought you
our
said you was
live.
podcasting
Everybody miss our live.
because a lot of the stuff we talk about,
People wanna
want to talk
interact,
about. Just
yeah.
like we have a specialist. Now, I'm not gonna say specialist. We have somebody that's involved in the school system. And a lot of times she used to check in with us to correct us on things with the school system. And I wish she was on. Yeah,
I
you
know
know who
you-
I'm talking
I know
about.
you're talking
I
about.
wish she was able to hear us because she would have corrected a lot of that, especially about the districts because she works with the district.
Shout out to Wish Who Was Here. That's
Yes,
what
I'm going to state her name. Shout out to Ilka
Yes.
because she always kept us abreast of what was going on in our district or in the districts in the area. And I'm sure she would have had something to say.
Panama Silk.
Yes.
She does. She always keeps us informed about. I think
Anything
we
with
should.
the schooling
we
system.
We should backtrack on her because we did a show with her one time.
Yes,
too.
we did. I
Yeah.
think we did more than one with her.
Shout out to Ilka. Yeah, she
Because
definitely
she was
informed
definitely
us.
if we didn't
Yeah.
do more than one, she chimed in to correct us on things when or
That's
to
right.
instruct us and direct us on certain things. Now, just as you mentioned about what the district can do and can't do, that would have been something she could have stepped in and say, wait a minute. There are numbers that you can call to get help on transportation to get your child to school. But I'm sure, and we're going to have this conversation again, she would have agreed with me on if you decide to send your child out your district, you or the school or both of y'all together should have figured out transportation. You can't put transportation issues on somebody going outside the district. I'm sorry. I'm done.
I'm gonna end it on that note. He done dropped the mic. He done dropped the mic on me. Yo, he done dropped the mic on me. Yo, listen.
They cost a lot, so I had to lay it down.
Make sure you like and subscribe our page, man. Shout out. Thank you, man. Thank you for being patient with us. Shout out to Molly, man. I hope your dreams
We're going to
continue.
get Marley back on. We're going to
Yeah.
get Marley on here, too.
Shout out to you, Molly. I hope you continue to prosper with your dreams. Sleep, man. I always call you the community mayor, man. I hope everything works out. You do what you do. We ain't going to forget. We're moving forward.
We see
I
you
hope to
soon,
see-
Sleep. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
We see you soon. Shout out to Gorilla 2K, man. Appreciate you for always coming up ideas for the show, man. Make sure y'all check out Gorilla 2K. Make sure you go to his Facebook page and his Instagram page and check out his sneaker sling is crazy, man. Check that out. Sneaker sling is crazy. Mr. Relevant, make sure you check out his page. Always informing us on what episode, I don't know, but always coming up with the greatest content. Yeah, he do. He comes up with some real good content. I really appreciate Mr. Relevant. And last but not least, I I call him Mr. Irrelevant, but his page is actually Irrelevant Shit. So make sure you check out Irrelevant Shit, Facebook, Instagram, and shout out to them old heads. That's Nick. Nick, man, I appreciate you. You done put us in a different light with that animation, man. Anybody that's in the 2K, you see them old heads. I'm the character Pop. Pop is Pops is that dude. I'm Pops. So make sure you check it out, man. Other than that, man, y'all have a beautiful week. God bless the children, and we'll see you again when we do our next episode. And I don't even count the episode. So next show, I'll see you. Whatever it is, wherever we'll be. Y'all have a good night. Who up there getting their
Peace and love always.
I'm trying to talk now here. Y'all
That's the baby on the left. You looking the wrong way, your other left. Thanks for coming out, y'all. Peace and love always. Y'all go out there and have a woody woo day while we still got a few left.
Let me turn this down, as I said. Boy, she on his ass. Get your baby.